we have break 911.
Did you say it was an emergency?
Break 911 right here. Let's dive right into it. It's break 911, the 2021 Prizm Draft Picks Hybrid Division Random. And here we go. We're going to randomize the amount of times right here. 8 times. This is break 911. 8 times on this randomization. Boom. There we go. We have Mike with the AFC East and AFC North, Cynthia with the AFC South, Haley with the AFC West, Jack with the NFC East, Cliff with the NFC North, Adam with the NFC South, and Jax Jags 24 with the NFC West. And we'll get those teams loaded up. Carl, we are live. Alrighty. Yes, the link to the snake is in the chat right now. Would love to try to end the night with a snake. Right now we only have one response, and it's for Diamond Kings Baseball. Would happy to end it with a snake, though, as well. Alrighty. Let's rock and roll with this. Jarvis Landry, Justin Herbert, Joseph Osai, the blue, and that is going to be not numbered right there, but that Joseph Osai of the Cincinnati Bengals going to Ernest, followed by Kenneth Gainwell of the Eagles, followed up by Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars going to Cynthia.
We can update it there if you...
Oh, okay. Cam Akers of the Rams, Myles Garrett of the Texas A&M, Matt Stafford of the Rams, Kyle Pitts of the Atlanta Falcons, and Trey Sermon of the 49ers. Will Fuller, followed by Drew Brees, Dazzy Newsome of the Chicago Bears, going to Cliff, followed by Jalen Waddle, Crusade of the Dolphins, going to Mike, and an All-American Patrick Surtain of the Denver Broncos, going to Haley. We have Michael Pittman Jr., Drew Lock, Keenan Allen, Sean Wade of the Ravens, and Raheem Boyd of the Detroit Lions. Alrighty, we're getting some movement on these snakes. We got people interested in the Donruss Optic Mosaic Prizm Football Blaster snake for 60, and then a Chronicles Draft Picks Mix Blaster, or Chronicles Draft Picks snake for 50. Both of those have 4 votes. Zeke Elliott of The Ohio State University, Calvin Ridley. Then we have Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys going to Jack, followed by Sage Surratt of the Detroit Lions to Cliff, and Kellen Mond of the Minnesota Vikings to Cliff.
Get enough of the same people for both of them. Can we do a mixer?
We could technically do that, but that would be a tough battle for the snake in terms of who you choose. Joe Burrow, Odell Beckham, Josh Kelly, Jeremiah Owusu-Kamara of the Cleveland Browns going to Mike, and Kenneth Gainwell of the Eagles going to Jack. Matt Stafford, followed by Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson II, J.C. Horn of the Carolina Panthers, followed by Terrace Marshall Jr., also of the Carolina Panthers. Chase Young, followed by DK Metcalf. Chase Young again. A Crusades Najee Harris of the Steelers going to Mike. And Dylan Moses of the Jags going to Cynthia. Aaron Rodgers, followed by Jalen Reagor. Then we have Tyler Vaughn's RC. Tyler Vaughn's of the Indianapolis Colts, followed by Travis Etienne of the Jaguars, and Marquez Stevenson of the Buffalo Bills going to Ernest. Sam Darnold, followed by James Robinson, and then we're going to have an auto, and that is Damar Hamlin. Damar Hamlin of the Buffalo Bills going to Mike. Followed by a Crusade Zach Wilson of the Jets going to Mike, and then Najee Harris of the Steelers to Mike. We have Darren Waller, followed by Deshaun Watson, a Crusade Kadarius Toney of the Giants going to Jack, and a regular Kadarius Toney to the Giants, and then Jamar Chase of the Bengals going to Mike. For the people interested in the Chronicles Draft Picks snakes or the Prizm Mosaic Blaster snake, can you just let me know how many spots you would take? T. Higgins, followed by Ronald Jones II. Gregory Rousseau of the Buffalo Bills going to Mike. Jamar Chase of the Bengals to Mike. And Pat Freiermuth of the Steelers going to Mike. Pat Freiermuth of the Steelers to Mike, followed by Jamar Chase of the Bengals, also going to Mike. Gregory Rousseau of the Bills going to Ernest. Jamar Chase of the Bengals going to Mike. Kadarius Toney of the Giants both that and the Crusade version going to Jack. Najee Harris of the Steelers to Mike. Zach Wilson of the Jets going to Mike. Marquez Stevenson of the Bills to Mike. Travis Etienne of the Jaguars going to Cynthia. Tyler Vaughns of the Indianapolis Colts going to Cynthia. Dylan Moses of the Jags to Cynthia. Najee Harris of the Steelers going to... Najee Harris of the Steelers going to Mike. Terrace Marshall Jr. and J.C. Horn of Carolina going to Adam. Kenneth Gainwell of the Eagles going to Jack. Jeremiah Wassa-Kamara of the Browns going to Mike. Kellen Mond of the Vikings going to Cliff. Sage Surratt of Detroit going to Cliff. Micah Parsons of Dallas going to Jack. Raheem Boyd of the Detroit Lions to Cliff. Sean Wade of the Ravens going to Mike. Patrick Surtain of the Denver Broncos going to Haley. Jalen Waddle of Miami going to Mike. Daz Newsome of the Chicago Bears to Cliff. Trey Sermon of the 49ers going to Jack's Jags. Kyle Pitts of the Falcons going to Adam. Trevor Lawrence of the Jags to Cynthia. And Kenneth Gainwell of the Eagles to Jack. And then Joseph Osai of the Bengals going to Mike. And then our big hit, our auto, it's Damar Hamlin of the Buffalo Bills going to Mike. And there we have it, folks. That's the end of break 911. Wee, wee, wee. Alrighty. We're going to move right along here. But first, we will do our next keyword giveaway. John, whenever you're ready.